Yasya-nandana Rajajannaranjana Yasya-nandana Rajajannaranjana Jamunatira Bandhachari Jamunatira Bandhachari Jaya Radha Madhava kuca-vilulita-mālā-kuṅkuma-śmaśrubhir Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa dūtas Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47, Text 12, the Song of the Bee. Gopya uvāca madhupa kitava-bandho spṛśaṅghriṁ sapatnyāḥ. Kuca-vilulita-mālā-kuṅkuma-śmaśrubhir. Vahatu madhu-patis tan-māninīnāṁ prasādaṁ. yadu-sadasi viḍambyaṁ yasya dūtas tvam īdṛk. Chant. Uvāca. Madhupa kitava-bandho spṛśaṅghriṁ sapatnyāḥ. kuṅkuma-śmaśrubhir. tan-māninīnāṁ prasādaṁ. Ladies, uvāca. Gopy uvāca. The gopy said, madhupa of bumblebee, kitava of a cheater, bandho, O friend, spṛśa, please do not touch, aṅghrim, the feet, sapatnyāḥ, of the lover who is our rival, kuca, the breast, vilulita, fallen from, mālā, from the garland, kuṅkuma, with a red cosmetic, śmaśrubhir, with the whiskers, naha, our, vahatu, let him bring, madhu-patis, Lord of the Madhu dynasty. Tat, he is, māninīnāṁ, to the women. Prasādaṁ, mercy or kindness. Yadu-sadasi, in the royal assembly of the yadus. Viḍambyaṁ, an object of ridicule or contempt. Yasya, whose? Dūtas, messenger. Tvam, you. Translation by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The gopy said, "Oh, honeybee, oh, friend of a cheater, don't touch my feet with your whiskers, which are smeared with the kumkum that rubbed onto Krishna's garland when it was crushed by the breast of a rival lover. Let Krishna satisfy the women of Mathura one who sends a messenger like you will certainly be ridiculed in the Yadu's assembly. Purport. Srimati Radharani indirectly chastised Krishna by chastising the bumblebee, which he took for his messenger. She addressed the bumblebee as madhupa, one who drinks the nectar of flowers, and she addressed Krishna as madhu-patis, the Lord of Madhu. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti points out that this and the following 9 verses exemplify 10 kinds of impulsive speech spoken by a lover. This verse illustrates the qualities of prajalpa as described by Sri Rupa Goswami in the following verse from his Ujjala Nilamani. Asu yasya madayujaya patiranamutraya piyasya kau shalodkara prajalpasa tukrityate. Prajalpa is speech that denigrates the tactlessness of one's lover with expressions of disrespect. It is spoken in a mood of envy, jealousy, and pride. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti points out the Lord kitava-bandho expresses envy. The phrase from sapatnyāḥ to na, jealousy. The phrase spṛśaṅghriṁ, pride. And the phrase from vahatu to prasādaṁ, disrespect. While the phrase from yadu-sadasi to the end of the verse decries Krishna's tactless treatment of Radharani. Mukam karadi vachalam pangam langate kinim yakipantoham pande sigurun dinatarinam om agyana timarandasya gananjana shalakaya chakshu meditam yena tasamai gurave namaha. So last chapter, 46, we were hearing about Nanda Maharaj's reaction to Uddhava, the messenger. Uddhava was trying to enlighten Nanda Maharaj with knowledge about Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's no one's mother, has no mother or father from anyone. But Nanda, he was trying to enlighten Uddhava also. And he was saying, you're just a boy. You don't understand. I excuse you, because you're just a boy. But actually, you're saying he's Narayan. But Narayan's a papa vidam. He's sinless. Krishna lies. Krishna steals. How can he be Narayan? And Narayan, he's aptakama. He's atmarama. He's not hungry. He is not thirsty. But Krishna, if he doesn't get his food, he gets really upset. So he is not Narayan. He's my son. So Uddhava was trying to convince Nanda. Nanda was trying to convince Uddhava. So let's see how Radharani is going to react to Uddhava. It sounds like she's chastising him already. She's not, anyway. So let's hear how Prabhupada translates this in Krishna book. Bumblebee, you're accustomed to drinking honey from flower to flower. Therefore, you have preferred to be a messenger of Krishna, who is of the same nature as you. He goes from girl to girl, woman to woman. Now he's in Mathura. He was in Vrindavan. Now he's going to have the women of Mathura, and after that, Dwarka. Therefore, you are a messenger of Krishna. I can see on your mustaches the red powder of kumkum, which was smeared on the flower garland of Krishna, while it was pressed against the breast of some other girl who is my competitor. So here's the evidence. The evidence is that he's that color. The bumblebee is that color of the kumkum smeared from the breast. So she's giving evidence. Of course, yesterday we were hearing in the class that everything she's imagining is kalpita. It's her imagination. And it's also madness. Madness means that you talk to things which you don't get a reply. You talk to the pillar, you talk to the tree, you're talking to the bee. You don't get a reply. This is madness. When you start, then they put you in the insane asylum. You feel very proud because of having touched that garland, and your mustaches have become reddish. Proof. Evidence. You have come here carrying a message for me, anxious to touch my feet. But, my dear bumblebee, let me warn you. Don't touch me. I don't want any messages from your unreliable master. You are the unreliable servant of an unreliable master. So the bee, she's saying it's the messenger, it's Uddhava too. She's saying he's unreliable. So Prabhupada comments on this. It may be that Srimati Radharani purposely addressed the bumblebee sarcastically in order to indirectly criticize the messenger Uddhava. Like the other gopis, Srimati Radharani saw Uddhava's bodily features resembled Krishna's, but she also saw Uddhava as being equal to Krishna. Indirectly, therefore, she indicated Uddhava was as unreliable as Krishna himself. Srimati Radharani wanted to give specific reasons why she was dissatisfied with Krishna and his messenger. So when Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, this was his mood. At night he was in the mood of Radharani, and when Krishna went to Mathura. And Krishnadas Kaviraj tells us, how should we hear these messages? This is a very esoteric topic. So how can we understand, how can we hear this song of the bumblebee? So Krishnadas Kaviraj says, the activities of Lord Chaitanya are undoubtedly uncommon, especially his talking like a madman. Therefore, one who hears of these pastimes should not put forward mundane arguments. So don't try to figure this out logically. It's not logical. It's not for your logical brain to understand. But here's what you can do. He should simply hear the pastimes with full faith. And what that means is, okay, I'm hearing, I don't understand, but maybe in the future I'll understand something if Krishna reveals to me or Radharani reveals to me. And so we have to hear with faith. So now, very interesting thing, they actually quoted some of the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti in this purport, but not all of the commentary. So yesterday we heard that Radharani's speeches is like imagination, like madness, but actually it's like the Shrutis, it's like the Vedas. In fact, it's better than the Vedas. And Krishna, he'll reject hearing the Shrutis to hear this talk from Radharani. He would rather hear this than all the prayers of the Vedas. So this is madness. You talk to something that cannot give you a reply. So Radharani's talking to the bee. But very interesting thing, if you hear this commentary by Vishwanath, he is hearing the reply of the bee. So what is the bee replying to Radharani? That we should find out. But first of all, why she's calling him a cheater? Two reasons. Why is Krishna a cheater? Because during the rasa dance, he left everybody, and he said, oh, for my sake, you've given up everything, I cannot repay you. No, he's a cheater. He went away and he said, I cannot repay you, but now he just went away again, and he didn't repay us. So then second reason why he's a cheater, that when he was leaving for Mathura, he sent a message, I will return. So he's a cheater because he didn't come back. Instead, he sent Uddhava. Now he's a cheater in two ways. So because these statements by Krishna are false, so Krishna is a cheater. And he says, B, she says, oh, B, you're a friend of this cheater, and don't touch my feet. So now let's hear what Vishwanath says, the reply to Radharani from the bee. The bee, making a buzzing sound, seemed to say, what is this? Will you not let me offer obeisances to you? And Radha said, one who drinks liquor, madhupa, by contact with intoxicants, if you touch my feet, they will become impure. If you just want to do obeisances, go far away, and you can offer obeisances. And now the bee's replying again. Why are you accusing me of being drunk when I have no fault? Then Radha said, this is not just accusation, it is true. Don't touch me with your whiskers tinged by the kumkum of garland from another's breast. So this is, she's putting blame on the color. It's the natural color of the bee. And she's saying, no, this is the kumkum from Krishna's breast. So she's putting the blame. And then she says, you have come to me to praise me when I'm angry without even washing your whiskers. Shows you are without judgment. You did drink some liquor. Any intelligent person will understand seeing you in that condition will only increase my anger, not decrease it. And so we heard in the purport that the word cheater comes from her indignation, her asuya. There's different feelings behind what she's saying. So cheater, the word co-wife arises from jealousy. So she's jealous of the women of Mathura. Do not touch my feet comes from pride. And let him deliver to them comes from her desire to disrespect. And scorn in the assembly of yadus arises from anger to spit out harsh words. Now, very interesting, in the Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described 10 types of separation symptoms that Radharani was feeling. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport, first I'll tell you the 10 bodily transformations resulting from separation from Krishna. First is anxiety. Second, wakefulness. Third, mental agitation. Fourth, thinness. 5, uncleanliness. 6, talking like a madman. 7, disease. 8, madness. 9, illusion. And 10, death. So these are 10 symptoms of separation from Krishna. So Prabhupada quotes Sri Rupa Goswami from his Ujjala Nilamani, and Rupa Goswami quotes from Hansa Dutta. So the first one is chinta, anxiety. When Krishna and Balaram went to Mathura, Radharani's mind was very disturbed, and she became mad. So we're seeing that now. Great mental pain, agitation, and she was drowning in the river of anxiety. And she thought, now I'm going to die. And when I die, then Krishna will come back and see me again. But if he hears of my death, he will certainly be very unhappy, therefore I shall not die. So that's anxiety, to be or not to be, to live or not to live. So she decides to live because everything is for Krishna. If she dies, Krishna will be unhappy, even though she's suffering miserably. It looks like she's suffering miserably, although they do say separation is the highest pleasure. Then the second, jagara, wakefulness. She was telling her friend, this is from Padyavali, if I could see Krishna in my dreams, then I would have great fortune, I would be glorified. But sleep has become my enemy, and I have not slept since the departure of Krishna. And so that's another problem, lack of sleep. If you can't sleep, you cannot function, basically, without sleep. Your intelligence needs sleep. There is one man in America, one radio speaker, and he decided that he was going to do an experiment of not sleeping. So first day went, he kept on his radio. Second day came, he kept on. Third day came, and he went crazy, and he started running naked in the streets without sleep. The brain is very disturbed. So Radharani, sleeplessness. I mean, even if we don't get one night of sleep, we cannot function. So that's another sign of separation. Udvega, mental agitation. And she said, I cannot express how my heart is burning. It's an unfathomable ocean of anxiety. Still, I want to offer obeisance at your feet, Lalita. What should I do? Please consider my condition. Advise me how I can become peaceful. So she was, and this was Lord Chaitanya. He was with Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, and they were trying to console him. He was feeling like Radharani, and they were like this, trying to console him. And then another symptom is tanava, thinness. Yudhava, when he went back, he told Krishna about Radharani. Radharani's very painful condition. She's very skinny. She has no bodily luster. Her heart is immersed in pain. And she's given up eating. So no eating, no sleeping. And all the gopis are like dried up water holes under the scorching heat of the sun. So tanava, thinness. So if you're fat, if you become very thin, then that's a sign of separation from Krishna. Pralapa, bad talking, of course it's called prajalpa here, in this verse, prajalpa. And that's described in Lalita Madhava, that when a husband goes away from home, the wife becomes feels separation for the husband, so Radharani is feeling that. And where is Krishna, who is the dancer in the rasa dance? He is the real medicine who can cure me from this disease. So another one is vyadhi, disease, another symptom, separation, describing Lalita, Madhava. And she's telling Lalita, I cannot bear this fever of separation. This fever is giving more distress than poison and more piercing than a thunderbolt. So that's a different kind of fever than we experience even with COVID. She says, I'm suffering just like someone who has cholera. So then umada, madness, unmad, and that's what she is doing now. She's laughing unnecessarily. Uddhava is telling Krishna when he goes back, Radharani is laughing all the time, unnecessarily, for no reason, just laughing. So this is a sign of madness. And inquiring from the stones, talking to the stones. And so this is she rolling on the ground. These are all symptoms. And Lalita wrote a letter to Radharani. My dear Krishna, Radharani is fallen unconscious on the ground. Her mind is agitated from her separation from you. So please, now you're a first-class politician, so you're supposed to protect everyone, give relief to everyone. So please, consider Radharani. Very soon you'll hear of her death, and maybe then you will lament, although now you are jubilant. So she's also chastising. And the last symptom of separation is death. Actually, Lord Ram's father, he died because of separation from his son. And there was one actor in the drama of Ram who also died in the drama. Actually, he was so much into the mood of Dasharat that he also died in separation from Ram. And so it can happen, can die. But this is explained in Hansadutta. Lalita is chastising Krishna, writing a letter to Krishna in Mathura, that you are so indifferent. You attracted Radharani, now you're indifferent to her. She's lying nearly unconscious thinking of you. I'll see if she's alive by putting cotton swab under her nostrils. If she's still living, I'll chastise her. So we know in Chaitanya Leela, the Lord Chaitanya, this happened when he first came to Puri. He fell unconscious, and he was carried to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, and Sarvabhauma put the cotton swab to see if he was still alive. He was experiencing. And this is how Krishna was repaying the gopis. He became Lord Chaitanya. That's how he repaid them, because he felt and he experienced the same symptoms that they were feeling. So, yeah, and actually, Lord Chaitanya experienced more symptoms that are not described about Radharani. One symptom Lord Chaitanya had was blood was coming from his body, all the pores, blood was coming. Another symptom was his bones became dislocated, and he became like 9 feet tall. I don't know how much that is in Indian measurement, but very, very, very tall. And then when they would chant Hare Krishna, then he would come back together. His bones would come back when his devotees brought him back. And so, yeah, Nectar of Devotion is also described. Radharani says, if I can't hear about Krishna, better I become deaf. And now I can't see him, let me become blind. So this is described disappointment due to separation from Krishna. And we do know that when Krishna wanted to come here, he asked Radharani, you come with me. She said, I don't want to see anyone but you. So she was born blind. She was born blind, and then when baby Krishna came and touched her eyes, she opened her eyes. And so, yes, so these are the feelings, separation. Another example was that she's crying all the time. Her face is also always wet. This is from Nectar of Devotion, and that's why she cannot sleep. Because when you're crying, then you cannot sleep. And there's a description of Nectar of Devotion of mixed rasas also. So we heard from, I think it was yesterday maybe, or another day, from one of the speakers who was talking about mixed rasas, and they were saying that Madhurya doesn't mix with anything. But in Nectar of Devotion, there are examples of Madhurya mixing with Shanta ras. So how is this? Let's hear. Nectar of Devotion describes Radharani was told, although she stopped all activities, she was still the supreme source of inspiration for all kinds of devotional service. So here what it says. My dear Radharani, in separation from Krishna, you are as still as the most beautiful tree, whose gracefulness is not blocked by any covering of leaves. Your tranquil mood makes you appear to completely merged in Brahman realization. So she's just completely stunned and not moving. So Krishna says, Srimati Radharani has become peace personified for me. Because of her, I'm always in a meditative mood. So it affected Krishna. He's also like that too. Madhurya with Brahman. I stare constantly without blinking my eyes. I'm always in a meditative mood. Because of her, I've even made my home in the cave of a mountain. So Nectar of Devotion says, this is an example of conjugal love mixed with neutral love, but there is no incompatibility. Yeah, so that happens. That can happen. And so there's different confusion. Radharani gets confused in her separation. Remembrance. If she sees a blue cloud in the sky, she remembers Krishna. So some of you have seen the blue cloud in the sky? No. Oh, I've seen so many. And one country, it was here actually, it was Vrindavan. I saw a blue cloud and a gold cloud together one night, before sunset. It happens. You have to watch, sky watchers, and you will see the blue cloud. You will see, oh, this is the color of Krishna. Or sometimes the monsoon comes and you see this really grayish, very light gray color. And, oh, is this the color of Krishna? And so yeah, we go on trying to see. So now I would like to share with you some words from Garga Samhita. It tells some more things that Uddhava said to Radharani to pacify her. Very interesting things. So it's described there that she's in a banana tree forest, in a banana leaf cottage. So there's a banana tree forest and a banana leaf cottage adorned with sandalwood paste. So it's very cooling. Everything is to cool her down. The bananas are supposed to cool you, sandal paste. Then the moon is cooling, and there's a little breeze and bringing mist from the Jamuna, but she's still burning. Even all these cooling things are there, but Radharani's burning in flames of separation, and only the hope Krishna will return keeps her alive. And so Uddhava is going to pacify her. He's going to try. And so here's what he said to Radharani from Garga Samhita. Eternally, Shri Krishna is the perfect supreme personality of Godhead, and you are eternally his supreme goddess. Eternally, Krishna enjoys transcendental pastimes. Eternally, you enjoy with him. Eternally, Krishna is Lord Narayan, and you are Goddess Lakshmi. Eternally, Krishna is Lord Brahma. Eternally, you are Goddess Saraswati. Eternally, Krishna is Lord Shiva. Eternally, you are Goddess Parvati. Eternally, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eternally, you are his greatest devotee. He is the father of the four Kumaras, and you are the Shruti Shastra. Krishna is Yagyavaraha, who plays on the ocean of devastation, and you are the earth goddess, Bhumi. Krishna is Narada, and you are the Veena in his hands. Krishna is Narayana Rishi, and you are Shanti. Krishna is Kapila, and you When we take Ayurvedic medicine, we should know it's Radharani. And we're supposed to chant Vishnu mantras before we take the medicine, if you actually do it properly. When we take medicine of Ayurveda, we should chant Vishnu's or Krishna's name. When Krishna became Mohini, you became Mohini. So she was Mohini also. When Krishna became Nrsimha, you became his man-lion pastimes. When Krishna became Vamana, you became his fame. When Krishna became Parashuram, you became the sharpness of his axe. Radharani's heavy here. When Krishna became Ram, you became Sita. When Krishna became sage Vyasadeva and writes Vedanta Sutra, you became the commentary. Well, that means bhagavatam is incarnation also of Radharani, incarnation of Krishna. When Balaram incarnates, you become Revati. When Buddha comes and bewilders the atheist, you become his intelligence. When Krishna becomes Kalki, you become his pious deeds. Krishna is the moon, you are the moonlight. Krishna is the sun, you are the sunlight, eternally. Krishna is Indra, and you are Sachi. Krishna is fire, you are the light. Krishna is Kuvera, you are the queen of his treasury. Krishna is the ocean of milk, and you are the waves. So whenever Krishna comes, you also come with him. Now he's the son of Nanda, and you are the son of Vrishabhanu, daughter of Vrishabhanu. So I offer respectful obeisance, Uddhava says to you. And he says, here's a letter for you, specially, don't lament. Krishna said, soon I will finish my duties here, and I will return. And take 100 auspicious letters for each of the 100 groups of beautiful girls in Vraj. So we're hearing the feelings of Radharani. Lord Chaitanya experienced these feelings. If you want to understand Radharani, you have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, go through Lord Chaitanya, the 6 Goswamis, and Prabhupada's purports. And so I would like to repeat something from the last class I gave last week, that Srila Prabhupada said in Krishna book, this is chapter 35, to acquire the strong feeling of separation is the teaching of Lord Chaitanya and his direct disciples. When we are not in physical contact with Krishna, we can associate with him like the gopis through feelings of separation. So again, Prabhupada says this, our Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, everyone here should feel always separation from Krishna. We should always feel that. And again, from Bhagavatam, this feeling is undoubtedly painful to the devotee, but because it's connection with the Lord, it has a transcendental effect which pacifies the heart. Feelings of separation are sources of transcendental bliss. So even though it sounds terrible, mrityu and all disease and all these things, but instead of suffering, you're suffering from the disease, but it's not the same as the material suffering, because you're feeling close to Krishna. And the material suffering, sometimes we don't see Krishna. We forget Krishna. Oh, why are you doing this to me? I'm such a great devotee, why should I suffer? But when you're feeling separation from Krishna and you're having disease and things, oh, you're just thinking of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. When will I see Krishna? When will I serve Krishna? So I'll stop here. If there's any questions or comments, you can. Of course, you have voice back today. Huh?
So Srimati Radharani is like a direct expansion of Krishna, like Balaram. Then there are partial expansions of Krishna. So each one has a certain capacity, like Lord Brahma, partial, Lord Shiva. It's not different. There are many incarnations listed throughout. Some are direct incarnations, partial incarnations, but they all have the same power and the purpose of reestablishment. So, are there any gradations that we shouldn't think that one is partial or partial is less or more?
Well, according to Bhagavatam, the only one that's complete is Krishna. Ete chang shakala punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. According to Nectar of Devotion, Krishna has 64 qualities. Narayan has 94% of those qualities. Lord Shiva has 85%. And
do you think that Krishna himself is only exhibiting that much in that kind of an incarnation?
yeah, that's right.
It's not as limited to that.
Yeah, exactly,
That role.
Yeah. When Krishna is in the incarnation of Ram, then he's only exhibiting certain qualities. He's not doing rasa dance. Even when Sita was banished, then Lord Ram was doing sacrifices every day with a golden Sita. Every day a different one. So one day, all of those golden Sitas came to life. And they say, "We are your wife, Sita. Now we want to be with you." And Lord Ram said, "No, I only accepted one Sita in this life. But when I become, when I incarnate my next incarnation, then you can all enjoy with me." And so, yes, he did not show that when he was Ram. Yes. Yeah, Krishna didn't show. He didn't show that when he was Lord Ram. He was very strict. He was very strict, and Krishna was not strict.
But Ram is Krishna.
Yeah, that's Krishna in a different mood. It's a different mood of Krishna. Yeah, he has many moods, and for every mood he has incarnations. And yeah, when he gets angry, he's Nrsimhadev. He gets really angry. And Lord Chaitanya was showing those moods too. One time he was in the mood of Nrsimhadev, and he was chasing people, and people were running away from him. And then they had to stop him, and then he became peaceful again. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, over there.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for a lovely class. You portrayed the picture of Krishna being a cheater and complete, buffoons of it. And yet, one verse that's repeated twice in the Bhagavad-gītā, Madhu-pa, he actually says that you will come to, I promise you this because you're my very dear friend, to really
Yeah.
do that.
Yes. So these are different rasas. In the rasa of dasya, friend. Arjuna was in Sakhya rasa. He was a friend with Krishna. So therefore, Krishna was behaving in a certain way with Arjuna. And he was saying, because of our great friendship. But, yes. So Arjuna did have that relationship of some awe and reverence. But with the cowherd boys in Vrindavan, they could chastise him as well. They would chastise him, "You're not very strong. We beat you in this, we conquered over you." So because he was in a relationship with the yadus, they had this feeling of reverence as mixed with their friendship. So, Arjuna was, so the friends in Vrindavan, they don't have that, such a mixture like Arjuna had. So he had to say that. But with the gopis in Vrindavan, there's different kinds of gopis, and Radharani's, there's gopis that chastise him, and there's gopis that are very submissive. So Radharani is the leader of the group who chastises Krishna. And he likes it. He likes to be chastised by them. Yeah, and another thing about Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita is that he accepted Krishna as guru. So you cannot chastise your guru. He was friendly relationship, but at the same time, there was this mixture of awe and reverence. He did accept himself as disciple. So because of that guru-disciple relationship, friendship relationship, that's why he could speak Gita to Arjuna confidentially. But his parents would also chastise Krishna also. His parents, his mother tied him up and to the grinding mortar. Very soon we'll hear about that. In a couple of weeks it will be Kartik. And we will remember that pastime of Krishna. Yeah, the gopis, they do have a special, some of the gopis, not all of them, have this way of chastising Krishna. Okay, any other questions? Okay, over there. And to the ladies. Oh, over here? Okay. Put your hand up. And then you also have a question over here? Okay. Mike? Hare Krishna.
Actually, how do we develop and nurture the faith that we have in the scriptures and for Krishna? Because over time, sometimes faith goes down, sometimes it comes up. How do we nurture that and develop faith?
Okay, how do we develop our faith? Now, His Holiness Sachinandan Swami gives 3 things you can do to strengthen your faith. The first thing is to improve your sadhana. Try to chant with quality. And the second thing you can do to improve your faith is to pray for bhakti with taste. Not that you just mechanically do your service and your chanting, but you like to do it. You have taste for it. So pray for that. Now the third thing is very interesting. Maharaj says, you should take a risk for Krishna. That means something you don't usually do. You might, not distribute books. You go out and try to distribute some books or try to preach to somebody who comes to the temple. It's not too hard here. There's so many hundreds and thousands of people coming here, and there's not enough people to talk to each one of them. So take a risk for Krishna. Take a risk for Krishna. Yeah, I took a risk by traveling in old age. I'm taking a risk. So I'll tell you, Krishna reciprocates if you take a risk. So I'll tell you a story. One time what happened to me, I was traveling. I arrived at Gatwick Airport, which is 2.5 hours from Bhaktivedanta Manor. And I was supposed to stay with somebody over there. And that time I didn't have a cell phone. It was maybe 10 years ago, before I got a cell phone. Some people had. So I had to go to a train station. I borrowed someone's cell phone, and I called up the person. I found out which train. I didn't know anything. They told me, you take this train, you change to that train. And then I called up the person on the other side, and I said, okay, pick me up at such and such time. So I got on the train, changed the train, got off the second train. It was 10:30 at night, and I looked like I was the only one, from my car, I was the only one who got off. Might have been other people. And I had this heavy luggage, and there was a huge flight of stairs, up and down, and the person who was supposed to pick me up had a back problem and couldn't help me. And I thought, no way I'm going to get up those stairs. And then just suddenly, 2 young boys came. One was black and one was white. And they said, you're not from here, are you? I said, no, I'm a visitor. They said, can we help you with your luggage? I said, yeah, you can. Then when I arrived at the house where I was staying, she had Krishna Balaram deities there. So I thought, okay. You can take a risk for Krishna. You can take a risk. Krishna will take care. He'll make sure, Here I'm some old lady with big luggage, and who's going to come and help me? And young kids aren't like that nowadays, that they'll say, can I help you? They just look the other direction. Yeah. Yeah. Especially, yeah. You got to, especially in the temple here, watch out. It doesn't matter who you are if you're in front of their darshan. Okay, next question. Over here. Mm-hmm.
So how Krishna can be cheated?
How? Well, she explained. I mean, This is what Radharani said. He's a cheater because after the rasa dance, he said, I cannot repay you. But he did not repay us. Instead, he went away. Second reason he's a cheater is because he said, I will return. But he did not return. He sent Uddhava. So he's a cheater. That's why Vishwanath says that's the reasons why she called him a cheater. That's why.
And you said as a master or guru, you cannot chastise them. So how this chastisement is there?
As the?
You cannot chastise a guru or a spiritual master. So how she is chastising him?
Because Krishna is not her guru. She's the guru of Krishna. Who is the Lord of Vrindavan? It's Radharani. It's not Krishna. Why they say Radhe, Radhe? Oh, that's all you hear. Why they don't say Krishna, Krishna? Because she's the king. She's the queen of Vrindavan. So she can. And there's somebody already told the story how, Radharani was crowned the queen, and they chastised Krishna and brought him in front of her. He had to offer obeisances, and yes, you're the queen. Yeah, she's the one in control here, and that's why strange things may happen every day. Things don't work, or the monkeys take your glasses, or we got a young teenage girl in control here, Radharani. So, yeah, she can chastise Krishna. We can't. But I did see one devotee chastise Krishna here. I'm not going to mention any names. But this devotee came from the Goshala in monsoon time. And I was in front of the deities. She came in front of the deities. And she started chastising Krishna. You knew I was walking here. Why did you send that rain and got me all wet? You knew I was coming to see you. It's right in front of the deities. And there's another example in Jagannath Puri. My god sister Radhakund, she was distributing books, trying to. Nobody was buying. So then one of the residents of Puri came to her and said, this is not good. You are doing Jagannath's work and he's not helping you. So that resident of Jagannath Puri went and he chastised the deity of Jagannath. You watch, it's a hot sun, she's trying to do your work, and you're not helping her. And after that, she sold so many books. Yeah?
Thank you for the nice class, Mataji. In relation to the chastisement of Krishna, there is a pastime of Srila Gaurkisha's Namaji Maharaj.
Oh, Gaurkisha.
Yes, in Navadvip, some of the children, they used to consider him as a madman, crazy person.
Crazy. Mm-hmm.
And they used to pelt stones at him sometimes. And then Gaurkisha Maharaj says, Krishna, if this doesn't stop, I will complain about you to Mother Yashoda. So, yes. And also, in terms of compensation to Krishna, that the gopis are complaining, Krishna is the cheater and tricky, right? So in that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam,
Naparayaham.
Yes. That let your own glories be your compensation, O gopis,
Yeah.
or Radharani. So he kind of, he spoke the truth, but at the same time he was tricky.
Yeah, very tricky. Yeah, he didn't come back. Yeah. Yeah, so yes, we should remember who's the guru in here in Vrindavan. It's Radharani and not Krishna. Of course, if you're on Krishna's side, then watch out. So any other? Yes, you have something? Yeah, okay, over here. Our learned Pandit Sarvabhauma Prabhu.
Interesting topic, basically it's about our head.
Very above, very above.
But as far as cheating is concerned, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, of all cheater, I am the cheater.
Oh, right.
So
Of gambling.
Krishna is cheater.
He does. Thank you.
And Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna says, people worship me with prayers, I am not really interested. If somebody chastises me, I am very happy.
Right.
So, real devotees like Radharani, which is the topmost devotee, Krishna she chastises. Prabhupada said, Bhisham Pitama was shooting arrows on Krishna as the enemy because Krishna was happy by that. So sometimes devotee act like that to please Krishna.
Yeah.
So this is also pleasing Krishna because Krishna wants this. So devotee chastises Krishna is give pleasure to Krishna. Krishna said, this is what Chaitanya Chaitanya in the beginning says, Mother, think that if I don't feed, he will be hungry. He's feeding the whole world. Krishna feel happy. Friend says, you are equal to me. You are not. You are son of king. What is that? I will climb on your shoulder. I am happy with that. And Priya Jadi Kare Bharshan. And my gopis, if they chastise me, I feel really million times than the prayers of the Vedas. So this actually, for Krishna's pleasure, they are in this mood. And what the whole Garga Santa, which Narayani spoke, is everything expansion of Krishna and Radharani.
Yeah.
From right side Balaram and everything expands from there. And left side Radharani and all the energies expand from there. So ultimately, they are expansion of Krishna and Radha.
Yes. Jai.
This is really, I will say, you see in a broader way, they can only manifest that much amount which is allowed to them according to their role, but they all are actually, Krishna includes everything, Radha includes everything. So all the Lakshmi, garland, Radharani, the Prabhupada writes, your kitchen is, Radharani is in charge, and million Lakshmis are serving Radharani, so she includes everything. All the energies are included in Radharani and all the incarnation and everything is included in Krishna. So just worship these two and be happy.
Jai. And chant Hare Krishna. Yes? Oh, you're just holding. Okay, Jai. Oh, glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Jai.